The First Weld system for exothermic welding is a simple, portable and cost-effective method of welding copper to copper or copper to steel. There are several advantages to using the First Weld system. Firstly, it requires no outside power source, and it is a quick and easy method of making high-quality welded connections. What's more, the main benefit of the First Weld system is that it eliminates sparks while considerably reducing smoke and fumes. So, how does it work? Well, the graphite mould is made up of a crucible, tap hole and weld cavity. The exothermic reaction takes place in the crucible. The First Weld connections utilise the high-temperature reaction of powdered copper oxide and aluminium. The tap hole directs the molten copper into the weld cavity, which houses the conductors to be joined. The permanent connection produced is a fusion of virtually pure copper, and in most cases has twice the cross-sectional area of the conductor being welded. This means that the joint is superior to standard mechanical and compression connections, enabling earth conductors to carry fault currents at higher temperatures. Now, as with any kind of welding, there are potential hazards. Therefore, always wear protective boots, safety glasses, and heat-resistant gloves when using the First Weld system, which complies with normal site regulations. Note, there may be additional site guidance on PPE. The First Weld equipment consists of specially designed and clearly labelled graphite mould, a handle clamp, First Weld powders, ignition strips, steel hood, ignition unit, and cleaning tools. A well-maintained graphite mould has an average life of around 50 joints. However, proper maintenance may prolong this lifespan. Each joint type has its own specific mould design. For the purpose of this video, we will be demonstrating with cable-to-cable joints in order to illustrate the First Weld process. You will find full details of the exact First Weld procedure for each type of mould and the type of conductors set out in the instructional material that comes with every mould. To make an effective joint, it is essential to prepare before starting the process. The surfaces of all the conductors to be welded must be clean, dry, and bright. Any oil, grease, and moisture must be removed prior to welding. The mould itself must also be dry, so preheat it to make sure any moisture is expelled. Then insert the handle clamp lugs into the designated holes in the mould and tighten the wing screws to secure the clamp to the mould. The graphite mould is then split, allowing it to be clamped around the conductors. A small steel retaining disc contained in the powder box is placed into the mould crucible. This should be centred over the tap hole, as this will prevent the powder from dropping through the mould. The type, size and quantity of powder is marked on the label of each box. The size is also marked on the top of each tube cap. Insert the ignition strip into the ignition block on the end of the cable, making sure the ignition strip is held firmly. Push the ignition strip through the slot in the mould until held securely. Pour the main welding powder into the crucible, ensuring the ignition strip has been covered. Then place the steel hood over the mould. Pick up the ignition unit and switch the mode button onto one of the following options. Double line if you want to use the ignition unit to ignite the weld powder. Single line if you want to use the remote fob to ignite the weld powder. Retreat approximately 1 to 2 meters away from the mould, ensuring the area around it is safe and clear. If using the ignition unit to ignite the weld powder, press this button on the centre of the unit. If using the remote fob to ignite the weld powder, ensure the ignition unit is at a safe distance away from the mould, and then press this button. Pressing the ignition button on either the ignition unit or the remote fob will sound an audible alarm to alert anyone in close proximity. Wait approximately 15 seconds before removing the steel hood, opening the mould and removing the welded joint. A good indicator of when this is safe to do is when the slag has changed from a bright red to a dull red to black, signifying that the metal has solidified. Then you can pull the ignition cable out from the mould and remove the used ignition strip from the ignition block. To clean, remove the slag with the scraper tool and clean the mould with a soft brush. Don't use tools like wire brushes, as these will cause damage to the mould. So there you have it. The Firstweld exothermic welding system is fast, easy and safe to use, providing excellent cost-effective joints with superior corrosion resistance properties.